Hey guys, this is still not my Fallout 4 Raider racetrack. I know. I spent most of my 1 week vacation playing Thronebreaker, which I cannot recommend enough by the way. When I was done, I remembered that I always meant to finish my Subnautica bases. So I spent the past week doing that, using the no-cost cheat this time, because the main reason I never finished my 5 bases last year was the insane material grind. I also downloaded a decorations mod, link in the description, which helps make bases feel a bit more lived in. You can see some of the items displayed in the shelf here. The narrow lockers are also pretty cool to switch it up a bit. This is the first base I built, and I left the layout untouched, just added some clutter. It's not the most impressive build, my others are bigger and cooler, but I decided to upload all of them. I still like it though, for the pretty location around the small crater. It started out like everyone's base with a series of storage corridors. I labeled everything and still spent way too much time looking for stuff. I should have downloaded a shared inventory mod like way back. I added so many picture frames and then lost track of which ones I used already. So if you spot duplicates, please forgive me and don't mention it or I'll cry myself to sleep. This is actually not the original cuttlefish, but one whose egg I spawned with the console. My first cuttlefish I released next to this base, and then realized I cannot pick it up again and return to the tank. I had canon that both of them play together in the tank at night, when I call them back like dogs. Not exactly sure how to carry an octopus creature inside, but let's just ignore the details please. So this was the original design of the second base structure. After I realized what the hatch looked like, I changed the layout. This is what it looked like for quite a while. Very, very basic. Subnautica was my game of the year 2018. I've played it for over 5 full days. For dozens of hours I found the material hunt even relaxing. Apart from the awful first couple of hours where I kept dying and almost quit, so frustrated with the survival aspect, the game is actually pretty well balanced. Steady rewarding progress, always something new to build. It was my first survival game. Now the survival aspect I enjoyed the least, I admit, but thankfully it quickly became a minor distraction, so that was okay. Once I had the Seamoth, which took more than 10 hours I believe, the game opened up and I had time to marvel at all this beauty. For countless hours I was happy to just explore.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
By the way, you will notice atrocious frame rate dips all the time. That happens whenever I look in the direction of another base. The game is horribly coded. It renders everything all the time. With 5 fairly large bases, my frame rate dips as low as 15 constantly now. I hope you don't get sick watching this video.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Nothing I can do about it anymore. I tried emptying the cache, which has over 4,000 entries no less, but zero improvement. Turning off depth of field or reflections doesn't help either. Base building just eats your frame rate, no matter how beefy PC you have. This video was recorded with the GTX 1080 Ti, 15 to 30 frames people. I also had zero improvements when I switched from the GTX 1070 visiting my Fallout 4 settlements. Not even a single frame more. Base building is like a black hole. My tank of infected specimen. This was by accident originally, but it's actually perfect for the diver's story. That's how we first started to study the contamination. Scanner rooms are so very useful. Too bad stalkers steal the cameras if you build one where they live. I'm not sure how pronounced the sun rays are in the vanilla game. I enabled them in the console recently. My second base in the safe shallows is very close by. I'll show it off in my next video. By the way, when I returned to the game almost a year later, my graphics settings were all messed up, and even though textures were still set to high, everything was super blurry. Because I hadn't played in ages, I couldn't tell anymore if it was that blurry before. I was almost shocked how much worse than, say, No Man's Sky it looked now. I also had horrendous pop-ins that I definitely didn't have before. Tried several fixes that didn't work. In the end, I simply reset the graphics settings to high, enabled some stuff so it turned to custom settings actually, and suddenly my game was sharp and beautiful again. Something got mixed up in the settings, downgrading stuff in the background. Maybe an update did it, or my graphics card upgrade actually. So, in case you experience similar things, just refresh your in-game settings. Let me show you the inside of my submarine.
All systems online.
I always store the prawn suit in it. I really like how the potato plants look. They're very decorative. I still have lots of stuff stored that I don't need anymore. I crammed as many storage lockers in there as I could and still ran out of space eventually. So much time spent juggling inventories. Ugh. Too bad you cannot label the big storage containers. The purple fabricator is from the mod. It lets you craft additional stuff. Let me get the interface back for that. It adds pretty much all items from the Aurora in unlimited supply, as well as a few custom creations that I'm not too fond of. It also lets you assign food and water and some chemicals from the regular fabricator to quick slots so you can place them. This only works with a mouse, not controller. Aside from the new fabricator, there are a few new things in the construction menu as well. You can adjust the color and brightness of the lamp in a file. The default brightness here is a bit too much in my opinion. I need to dim it a bit. There is another fabricator actually for seeds. And sorry for the German interface. It downloaded like that. You can adjust the language somewhere, so do not worry. I think these are all vanilla plants except for the ivy. The clocks displaying in-game time are a separate mod. The narrow grow bed is pretty handy. Smaller benches are very useful too. There is a custom picture frame you can tilt or change the frame of. Can't place toys on lockers sadly, and some of the new plush animals disappear off shelves for some reason. Well, actually you can if you're standing on your bed. It's very weird. The sample analyzer doesn't do anything. It's a decorative storage device, basically. Sadly, you cannot glitch anything into it. I mean, that would have been awesome. Nothing to see back here.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
So that's about it from my first base that I named Acupuncture because of the needle shooting asshole plants everywhere that, like here, often pierce the hull, which is ridiculous by the way. For some reason the plants have despawned by now. Thank God. As always, thanks so much for watching and the continued support. My other bases will follow soon.